Hi, I'm Stephanie, nice to meet you. Today's short sequence is to build energy, work on the shoulders and balance. Enjoy. So go ahead and find a standing position, top of your mat or in the center of your space. Go ahead and allow the feet to separate about hips distance apart and allow a little bit of give to the knees. You might give the arms just a little wiggle, make sure shoulders are relaxed. And then go ahead and lift the shoulders when you're ready up to the ears on inhale. Exhale the shoulder blades around, down and back together. Keep a nice even pressure through both feet. Inhale to lift the shoulders, exhale roll them around, down and back. Inhale to lift and exhale to relax them. Go ahead and face the top of your mat if you're not. You'll find that nice even pressure through both feet. Send both palms into prayer. On your next inhale, lift the palms and gaze. On your exhale, bend the hips to fold forwards. Bring the hands to the ground or shin, lift halfway on inhale. Exhale, send the hands to the ground, step back one leg, then the other to your plank position. Shift the weight forward, pressing from the heels to bring the shoulders over the wrists, and exhale, high to low. You can soften the knees if that's best, or just keep the elbows nice and close as you come halfway down. You'll flip the tops of feet to the mat as you expand the chest, and curl the toes under as you send your body back to downward facing dog. If your legs aren't quite warm, you'll keep a nice little bend to both knees and focus on that lengthened spine. Relaxing the shoulders. Find 2 long breaths. Breathing in and out through nose. On the exhale, bend the knees and look ahead. Step or walk or travel to the top of mat. Halfway up on the inhale. Exhale as head comes to shins. Inhale to rise to standing. Sending palms and gaze up. Exhale, palms and gaze come to heart. 2 more times. Up on the inhale, press through the heels. Exhale, bend to fold forwards. Halfway up on the next inhale, flatten back. Exhale, hands to the ground. Again, you'll step back to that plank. Maybe softening to the knees if that's best. Otherwise, shoulders over the wrists. Keep the elbows close as you travel down. Halfway or all the way to belly. Inhale, expand the chest. Exhale, curl the toes under, send the hips away from hands, relax shoulders and neck. Find 2 more long breaths. The length of your inhales will equal the length of exhales. Next time you exhale, you'll bend the knees and look ahead. Again, return to the top of mat. Press up halfway on the inhale. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, draw up to standing, rooting through the heels, lengthening. Exhale, send palms to heart. This time you'll find a slight bend to the knees. Draw the arms to the ceiling or sky. Tailbone points down, chair pose. Take 2 more breaths here. On the exhale, you'll bend to fold forwards. Come up halfway on the next inhale. Exhale, hands return to the ground. You'll step back to a plank again, traveling high to low. Exhale, you'll keep the elbows close as you travel down and come back up. And exhale to come back to downward facing dog. A few more breaths, just nice and even breath. Tailbone is high, hips travel away from hands. And again on the exhale, a bend to the knees, you'll look ahead. Return back to the top of mat. Come up halfway on the inhale. Exhale on the fold. Inhale to bend the knees. Again, you'll glide the arms up towards the ceiling. Keep the tailbone pointed down. So you're not sticking the bottom out, but pointing the tailbone down. Find 2 more breaths. And then just exhale, straighten the legs, bring palms to heart. From here, you'll release both arms to the sides. And just to open or warm the shoulder blades and open the chest a little bit, you'll stand at the top of your mat and bring both palms out in front of you, pressing into the palms and drawing the shoulder blades back behind you slightly. On the inhale, you'll expand the chest, drawing shoulder blades together, squeezing shoulder blades into spine, and exhale to bring the hands back. Inhale to open and squeeze behind back, exhale to bring them back. So you do that kind of fast, maybe 10 times or so, really moving the hands with the breath. Inhale, open, exhale. 8 more. Last one. just release both palms here. So you'll keep the feet separated under the hips, a little tiny give to the knees. Sending both arms out to a T, you'll bring the right arm underneath your left arm here. So for you, right arm underneath the left, you'll try to cross both arms at the elbows and cross. If you can keep winding, binding, go ahead. It's not necessary though. If you are able to wind or bind, you'll allow the hands to wrap and hook. And make sure you're nice and balanced, even pressure through both feet. You'll send the elbows away from you and lift the hands up to the ceiling. And then just slowly bend from the hips to fold forwards. You're then pulling the elbows in towards the center of the body, towards your core, relaxing the head or neck. You can straighten the legs if you like, or just taking a nice forward fold, pulling the elbows into body to open the space behind back. Take 2 full breaths. Really try to send the air to backs of lungs here. And then on your next inhale, just slowly rise back up. You'll keep that bind though with the elbows. So right arm is under the left, elbows will pull back away from you and hands will lift skyward. You'll bend at the knees and then shift your weight into the right foot and send the left leg over the right leg. So here in your eagle pose, you might not cross all the way, but feel free to keep your, if you do cross, to keep your toes to the feet, to the ground, to help balance. You don't have to wrap the foot all the way behind. You're trying to sit so the shoulders are over the hips. You're leaning back without losing balance. The inner thighs squeeze together. Again, elbows come away and hands lift. Take a few full breaths. Might gaze at the ground for balance. And then slowly you'll unwind the arms, the legs, make just a few circles with the arms and legs to relax the shoulders a little bit. You might then give the legs just a little tiny wiggle. And then we'll again open up that chest and warm the shoulder blades once more before the other side. So bring the hands together, little give to the knees. You'll draw the shoulder blades back into spine a little bit. And on your inhale, you'll open. Exhale in 10 more. Feel free to move faster or slower than me. Four more. Inhale to expand, exhale to bring it in. Perfect. You'll relax the arms here for 1 second. Make sure the weight's even between the feet. Send the arms back up on the inhale. Left arm travels under right arm this time. Again, you'll wrap or bind however much is possible. Elbows draw away and hands lift skyward. You're opening that space behind back between the shoulder blades. Lift the hands a little higher if possible. And on the exhale, pull the elbows into the belly and you'll round the back. You might just stop here. You might continue traveling in the forward fold. Just allowing the most relaxed forward fold while you're pulling the elbows in slightly. You're relaxing the head or neck. Expanding that back, sending the air to backs of lungs. Take 1 or 2 more breaths. And then slowly on the inhale, you'll rise back up here. You'll keep that nice cross or wrap at the elbows or forearms. Give the knees a little bend. Shift the weight into the left leg this time, and you'll cross that right leg over the left. So you're squeezing the inner thigh. You might use the toes to the ground for additional support. And you're trying to keep the shoulders stacked over the hips, leaning back without losing the balance. If you're really comfortable, maybe sit a bit lower. Really work at the inner thighs. Squeezing them together. Elbows draw away from the body, hands lift. Might feel some resistance behind the back. As long as there's no pain, it's perfect. Just keep the breath nice and smooth. Take 3 more breaths. And then you'll slowly unwind the arms, the legs. Again, make a few circles with the arms to relax the shoulders. Might give those legs just a little tiny wiggle. You'll step back to the top of your mat, send the palms into prayer, and find that nice bend to the knees. Just a little tiny bend is sufficient. Arms will come up on the inhale, tailbone points down. And then keep a nice bend to your knees. Exhale to bring the palms in front of the heart. Press into the palms to open the chest. Shift the weight into your right foot. And then slowly just kind of shimmy that left foot behind you. Make sure the right knee stays bent here. When you're ready, you'll lift that left leg, maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches, maybe 10 inches. You're pointing the left toes down, flexing the left foot. Pressing the left heel away from the head. The toes pointed down will help keep the hips square to the ground. And maintaining that small bend in the right knee. One more long breath. Again, leg can be at any height. On the exhale, just release that leg back to the ground. Palms to the sides, or arms to the sides. Give the legs a little wiggle. And then send both palms into heart. Take one salutation to reset. So both palms come up on the inhale. Exhale to bend from the hips to fold forwards. Come up halfway on the next inhale. Exhale, palms to the ground, and step back to any plank that works for you. You'll travel high to low, shoulders over the wrists, elbows stay close. You'll inhale, lifting the chest, gazing up slightly. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Take 1 or 2 long breaths. Drawing the navel in and up, or belly in and up. Next exhale, you'll bend the knees and look ahead. Travel back to the top of mat. Halfway up on the next inhale. Exhale on the fold. Again, we'll come to that opposite side. You'll bend the knees, bring the arms up. Keeping the arms parallel to back. Nice tiny bend is sufficient, doesn't have to be deep. On the exhale, palms will come back together. You'll press into the palms to open the chest. Shift the weight to the left foot. And then shimmy, or just kind of bring that right leg behind. Keeping a nice bend to the left knee, you'll lift that back leg. It can be a nice low lift or a high lift. You're flexing the right foot, pressing right heel away from head. So you're always looking here for length head to toe, rather than how high or low you can come. That length will keep a nice long spine. Keep a focal point on the ground for balance. Take 3 breaths. Slowly release both legs back to the top of mat. Just relax the arms at the sides. Give the legs a little wiggle. And just return back all the way to the top of mat. We'll take one large step back here, coming into a wide-legged stance. So allowing the feet to be nice and parallel to each other, and feet are wider than the hips. If you know you're nice and flexible, you might lengthen the stance or widen the stance a little bit. If you know that you're not able to touch the ground, you'll shorten the stance or bend the knees a little bit. On the inhale, just send the palms and gaze up. Exhale to bring both fingers or hands behind you to interlace all 10 fingers if possible. You can also grab a hold of the forearms. You'll roll the shoulders up and back towards each other, pulling the forearms, hands, or knuckles away from the head to open the chest. Fill on inhale. And exhale, bend from the hips, just slowly fold forwards here. So as you start to fold, you'll notice that the shoulder blades start coming apart. You'll really draw them back together, lifting the hands or arms up to the ceiling as best you can, relaxing the head or neck. Now try if you can to lean the weight forwards a little bit, shifting the weight towards the toes or head or hands to open backs of legs. Take 1 or 2 breaths. And then go ahead and slowly release both hands to the ground here. Press into the palms and lift up halfway. Just gonna take a tiny little hop, bringing the feet in towards each other. Kind of like a little frog stance. The heels might not touch the ground, that's okay. You're just allowing the hips to open using the support of both hands. Trying to relax the glutes, hips, groin, You might even just take a few sways kind of side to side to soften or warm the hips. Once you feel a little more comfortable, go ahead and bring both palms into the center. So you're kind of pulling the belly in and up a little to maintain balance, but trying to relax the glutes. Both palms are pressing together. If it's accessible or manageable, you'll use the elbows to just slightly press those legs or thighs open a little bit here, still keeping the glutes relaxed. You can bring your gaze to the fingertips or to the ground. Bringing the air in through the nose, out through the nose for 3 more breaths or so. You're always moving at the pace of your own breath. Your breaths might be faster or shorter than mine. Just breathe however is best. Maybe 1 more. Perfect. You'll just here relax the hands back to the ground. Send the tailbone nice and high. So you're back at a standing forward fold, just to separate the feet a little bit to bring a little bit better balance. You might keep a little bend to the knees if legs are not warm. If they are, feel free to straighten them. To bring the hands to the ground, to the shins, or use both hands to grab each opposite elbow. Allow the neck to hang long, shoulders, upper back to relax. Again, you might shift that weight forward so your weight comes towards your head or toes more. Take 2 long breaths. And then send the hands to the shins, press up halfway on the next inhale. Exhale, draw the hands to the mat, step back slowly to your plank position. Make sure the shoulders are over the wrists. And you'll exhale high to low 1 more time. Keep the elbows close as you come down and up. Shoulders roll up and back on inhale. And exhale back to downward facing dog. On your next exhale, the knees will bend and you'll look ahead. You'll return back to the top of mat. Come up halfway on inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale slowly, find standings and the palms and gaze up when you're ready. And exhale, bring them back down to heart. Just relax both hands at your sides. You'll find a nice comfortable stance where you feel balanced. You might keep the feet closer together. You might separate them. We'll allow the tailbone to point down, the arms to hang at the sides, feeling really nice and grounded, but lots of length through the spine. You can close your eyes if you're nice and balanced, or just gaze down at the ground. Noting the energy in body, sensations in body. When you're ready, just bring the palms to the heart, the head to the hands. Acknowledge your short but perfect practice. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.